As we're visiting about the peanut industry in Oklahoma today, I thought it'd be a good idea to discuss what we know about the feeding of some of the byproducts of that industry to cattle. In particular, it would be peanut hay. Peanut vine hay, as we know it here in this state, would basically be the crop residue that's left after the peanuts are harvested. When I checked with the Oklahoma State University Soil Water Forage Testing Laboratory last week, 3 different samples of peanut hay had been tested over the last calendar year, and they ranged in protein from 8 to 10% crude protein, which makes that a viable possibility as a hay crop for especially adult cows. As we're talking about peanut vine hay, we've got to be aware of what that peanut crop had been treated for before the crop was harvested. In many cases, those particular products are contraindicated for use of the hay with the cattle. There is another kind of peanut hay that you may hear about, and that's called perennial peanuts. Perennial peanut is a forage crop that's grown as an alternative to alfalfa in the Deep South. And as you can see by this graphic, basically those states and those areas where perennial peanut hay is grown. This is a crop that looks to be very, very nutritious and useful for cattle. It's a legume and is put up as a forage crop. And I tell you about this because I think it's important that if there's a situation in a drought where we have to buy some hay from other areas of the United States, that as we talk about perennial peanut hay, that's a very, very different product than the vines that we produce here in Oklahoma. Finally, there may be an instance where the raw peanuts, shelled, those that won't pass the grade to be used for human consumption, might be available for livestock feed. We have to keep our limit to no more than 4 pounds per head per day of that particular product to cows. If we go above that with that high fat content, we may cause some digestive disorders in the cattle and certainly reduce the forage digestibility that goes along with it. If there's any aflatoxin in those peanuts, certainly they cannot be fed to dairy cattle, and it needs to be extremely low, around 100 parts per billion or less if being fed to reproducing beef cattle. Well, this is some of the information that we could gather that we thought would be helpful to those folks in the peanut industry that might be thinking about using some of these byproducts as feed for the cows or the stocker cattle on their operation. And we look forward to visiting with you again next week on Sunup's Cow-Calf Corner.